This is one serving size for me. Just saying. I have now paid off my student loans. And get this, a chunk of that I did within the last 4 months. I didn't get really crazy about it until this year. I've had student loans since 2013. Like literally, I graduated in 2013 and it's 2024. It's November 2024. And I graduated with a bachelor's and I had about, and it was a hair over like 12,000 was my like total debt that I needed to pay back. And I'm really glad looking back that I picked a less expensive school. Like I didn't go to Harvard, didn't go to Princeton. I went to BYU, Idaho. But it ranks one of the least expensive schools that there are. And I have a bachelor's degree. So it worked out great. Now, if you haven't picked your college and you're just about to, pick somewhere that you're not going to be in debt for $100,000. Okay, because few jobs pay enough to get that mess cleaned up with. But if you already are in this part of life where you're like wanting to pay off your student loans, if you're not, you can do this. Now, this is my method. I got a, manila folder, and I wrote Dental Assisting Income 2024. I got serious about it this year when I feel like I finally hit this wall and I'm like, what have I been doing the last freaking 11 years sitting here with my student loans like it's a pet? It's just like chilling. It's hanging out. And of course, COVID happened, right? And that was like 3 years of not needing to make payments because, oh, hey, like the government's not going to charge interest. Like, why not? Like I could pay off, credit card debt or whatever, which is charging me interest and it's a better use of money. But somehow I never got back to paying the student loans off until like they started to, like they sent everyone right in the country, hey, we're now implementing student loans again. Like you have to start paying. So then I started paying, right? Because I'm like, oh, fetch. Like I should have just busted it out during COVID. But, it's just like one of those things that you do and you're like, oh my gosh, I should have just taken care of it then. But anyway, you live and you learn. So anyway, I will say that I finally this year, 2024, felt like I was on fire enough mentally to be like, I am done with this. Every freaking penny after charity is going towards this debt. And that's what I did. So I donate from every paycheck of mine a certain percentage to charity. Now, after that, every penny of the remaining amount was used towards my debt and student loan debt. It's not credit card debt. It's not mortgage. This is like straight up just student loans. And I am grateful to my husband who allowed me to use that money rather than like, hey, let's spend it your paycheck on something else. I literally used my amount from the paycheck for clean up my own mess that I made. Now, there was a minute or two when I was like, hey, government's just like erasing student loans. Like maybe mine will be one of them. No. Like, I don't know why I thought that. But it wasn't for too long before I realized, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, wait a second, Karen. Like, you made the mess. You cleaned it up. Like, since when is there any other plan but that? Like, that is normal. A normal person who makes a mess, if you're an adult, you clean it up. And so I was like, wait, I signed up for the student loans. Was it not my name where I signed saying I was going to pay it back? I got to pay it back. Like, I can't just be like, let's hope and wish on a star that the government's going to pay off. Like, at some point I was just like, okay, like there's no more hoping, no more wishing. I'm just going to get it done. I'm going to clean up my mess. And then I'm going to be done with it. And then I'm going to be able to have so much money to freaking buy whatever I want. Now, this is a journey. August of this month, I got a job. And of course, my husband's like, I think you need a job. And he said in a very nice way. I'm like, yes, I do need a job, but in what? And so I wanted to do something that wasn't retail because Walmart's so great and Target's great because I'm there all the time getting stuff, right? But at the same time, like I didn't want to work there. I just wanted to be something more in a refined setting, if you know what I mean. And so I felt like a medical office would be great. So I got a job in a great dental office, and I actually started working on my birthday. Literally, it was awesome. Sorry, my voice, excuse me. And it's been a really good experience in that, like, I've been able to like provide some kind of service, and I'm getting a paycheck, and I'm using that paycheck wisely. And so as of August this year, I had $4,441.69. Now, with every paycheck, I do put some to charity. The remaining amount I was using all towards the student loans. And so in August, on the 19th, I made a payment of $423.87. Then there was like a paycheck I got, and I like put it in my drawer, and I didn't like, I think I let it sit there for like a week. And then a week later when I got the next paycheck, I'm like, oh, I got 2 paychecks. And so I went bam, bam. And I really made some progress on that student loan debt. I'm like, ooh, this feels really nice. Like, this is good. And so I paid $1,071.13 with that first one. And then that second paycheck, it was $852.94. And this is, again, these are the amounts. That's not how much my paycheck is. These are amounts that was left over after I donated, that percentage to charity. And then on October 10th of this year, I put $959.11 towards debt again. And then, and obviously between each of these like payments, there's still like the amount that you pay, it goes up a little bit because interest, right? So even if it's like a day later, like the amount that it said that was remaining is now still a little bit higher, and you're like, but anyway. So I made a payment on the 17th of October, and that was $394.28. And then my remaining balance at that point was $760.72. And then while we were on vacation, Halloween happened, right? And that happened to be paycheck day. And Halloween, I meant to pay off my student loans on Halloween, and then trick-or-treating happened, right? And like, that's a priority. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this later. Well, it was just crazy that whole night where I didn't make it. And so I technically paid off, that next day was November. So I paid it off this month, technically, November 2024. And we were flying the next day to New York. So it was like, so I brought like my little paycheck with me. And then when we got to the hotel, I think it was the next day that it was the first, I think. Anyway, that I paid it off. So like it was really cool. But the thing is though, I was so excited to do the video, like, hey, I'm debt free. I finally paid off my student loans. But then I got sick. I caught something, I'm certain, in the LaGuardia airport, because then I started losing my voice, and then it was gone really fast. I'm like, so I was whispering everywhere. The whole entire New York trip, I was whispering. And then I got back and my voice was still like awful. And then this last day, it's really gone up. It's taken like a couple of days to go from like whispering to like this, which is actually, I feel like, really fast. So I'm really grateful. I don't know what I have. I got my flu shot like 2.5, actually it was like 3.5 weeks ago, I think. Cause I knew like New York is swarming with people. Everyone knows New York is swarming with people. So you're going to catch something. And lo and behold, I did. Like, it was ridiculous, but it probably would have been more intense, without all the flu shot and the COVID vaccine I got. Anyway, so I meant to do it at the time I paid it off. I meant to do my video, but I didn't have a voice. So now post-trip, I'm like now able to talk. Excuse me. I'm now able to talk and like do this video. But really, it's been like 11.5 years in the making, where I've been waiting so long to do this debt-free video. And now I'm finally at the end of it, where I'm like, oh my gosh, like, it's done. I don't have to just like have that mental burden of knowing I owe like X amount of dollars. But I will say that, like, from when I graduated owing like a hair over 12,000 to August when I owed $4,441.69, like about $7.5 grand had been paid off in that window from 2013 when I graduated to, you know, 2024. But in August, that's when I felt like I was on fire, where I was like, okay, I am literally not going to be doing anything else but paying this off because I'm so sick of this student loan. And, you know, I thought I'd felt that before. Like, I thought I was mad, ticked off enough at my student loan debt and the mess that I'd made. But I wasn't. I was just, like, frustrated. I wasn't, like, ticked off where I'm just like, I don't care what happens on this planet, I'm paying this off. Like, every single dang penny after charity donations is going towards a student loan debt. So it was just really that point I had to hit to make this happen. I mean, you can accidentally get into debt, but you can't accidentally get out of it. You have to be so intentional to get out of it. And if you're not, interest is just going to keep on going. Interest never sleeps. They mean it. So I got a folder, and I'm a dental assistant at a dental office. So I wrote, and it's probably backwards here in the camera, but I wrote dental assisting income 2024. So I actually started, my first day was my birthday. So it was like kind of funny how that worked out, which is awesome. But every paycheck that would come in, I'm not going to show you the paycheck because that's obviously confidential how much I make, but I'd keep the check. So after I mobile deposited it, I'd keep it, and then, you know, Mike made a little like mark on it saying, yeah, I deposited this day and this time, so I'd know. But I'd also keep the paycheck stub, and just so I'd have it as a reference. So then, well, come tax time, I'll be like, wait, how much did I make? So it's also for like tax purposes and tax reasons why I like keep those. But also like the envelope that it came in, on the back of it, I wrote down the amount for the paycheck. And I'd also write a check mark if I donated money from that paycheck towards charity. So then I know that was done. And then once I had like I don't know why I picked blue, but I mean, it's what I had when I first started this. It was just on my desk. So I used a blue marker. You can use a blue crayon too if you don't have a marker. And I'd make a line once I like made a payment on the student loans too. So like, obviously not everyone donates some of their paycheck towards charity. I feel like I am trying to be like the best version of myself and be kind and generous, because a lot of wealthy people that I know, they're extremely generous, like big time. And so if I want to be wealthy, like I want to have that generous characteristic. And also I'm like a Christian. I'm a believer in God and Jesus Christ and the Holy Ghost, right? And so I feel like God is a generous person. Clearly he gives a lot. Like everything I have is his. So I mean, I technically need to like show that same kind of characteristic and attribute. And so that's why I donate a small portion of my paycheck. It doesn't have to be like a massive amount, just a little bit, just to make you feel like you're doing something that's good, that's helping others. So donate to a charity of your choice. Could be your church, could be nonprofit 503c, you know, whatever you want, you know. But and then after that, I feel like it's also made me technically more deliberate with the money, because then after that amount, top amount that is given to charity is gone, there's this much remaining. And then I'm like, okay, I only have this much now. So I literally have to make sure I'm like using it wisely. And so I think it's helped fuel the fire to then like go crazy with paying off debt. So it literally took me 6 paychecks to pay off that amount, the $4,441.69. 6 paychecks. That's 3 months. It took me 3 months. And I'm like, I've been sitting around for 11 and a half years. Of course, during the 11-year part of the 11 and a half years, I did the 7,500. But it was so incremental. It was like a little bit here, a little bit there. Like, it wasn't like bam, 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 like chuck every penny, like we're on fire. Like, I wasn't crazy about paying off debt. I was just like kind of paying off because obviously needed to pay off, but I was really relaxed. I'm like, it's all good and no biggie. Like, there is no room for like, what is that word? When you're like, la, 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 we've got so much time. Like, you have to get on fire. Like I said, you cannot walk out of debt accidentally. You may walk into it accidentally for sure. You're not walking out accidentally. Like, you have to be intentional. So literally, I knew where every freaking penny was going of the remaining amount. So if you feel like you are in the same situation where you're in debt and you want to be out of debt and you're just like, where do I even freaking start? Go to Walmart, get a manila folder, get a job, write your job at the top, write the year, and bust it. Literally bust it. Every paycheck, every dang paycheck that you're working your little bum off for goes towards paying it off. And then you have a nice little collection of paychecks afterwards, and you're like, I worked hard. My heart was in it. I have now cleaned up the mess. And it feels good. It feels good. Like, I really thought, I'm like, is this day ever going to come? Because it was so long. It was so long. And I honestly meant to pay it off like 2 years tops after graduating. That did not happen. And then in some couple years later, then like kids joined our lovely family, and you better believe your budget takes a hit. You got diapers, you got wipes, you got Gerber little bottles full of applesauce. I mean, like, and then there's the doctor visits. Need we mention the doctor visits? So you're there every month for like the first year. And then you just have like hospital bills pop up and you're like, oh my gosh. And then like life happens where like someone needs like a couple surgeries. And I feel like we're fairly healthy in general. Like, so it's not like we have like chronic conditions where like, so like there's also that element for those of you that might have like health issues. Like I feel like we've had it pretty easy, but still it was somehow still hard to like just get paid off. And now I'm like, oh, I can just like sit and literally I went to Target. And as a reward, I bought myself a Ben & Jerry's ice cream. I should go grab it from the freezer to like celebrate. Excuse me. And I bought a couple pieces of jewelry too. Like, you like little ones, like, you know, like the $20 earrings or the $17 necklace, like that kind, not the crazy jewelry where it's like the bling blingage from a jewelry store. This is just like the fake stuff, but it still makes me feel beautiful, and it's like my little reward. So I really need to start thinking like, what am I going to go crazy on now? And I think it's going to be the credit card debt, because the credit card debt, that's the next little monster. Like, oh, mercy. Oh, that's delicious. Like these owl mugs, they're so cute. So, don't feel like you made such a mess you can't fix it. It's fixable. Every mess is fixable, but you do have to be intentional. So just keep track of like where, like on the inside of this, I'm not going to show it to you, but because it has too much paycheck details, but on the inside of my folder, I made a list. Like I like put it up like this, and I like wrote down, like the amount that was owed, the total amount of my student loans, and I could see that number going down. So it was like I'm a visual learner. I need to see things to like, for it to click in my head for some reason. And so when I saw that total number that I owed, and every paycheck, it just kept getting whittled down. It felt good. That would fuel the fire. And I could just open this and be like, okay, I got this much. I got 3,000, 2,000, 1,000, etc. left to pay. And now it's done. And I'm like, wow, I survived it. Wow. Like, it's amazing. So you can do it. You just have to be on fire enough to go for it. And I do really feel a lot of gratitude because Mark, that's my husband's name, he let me be able to do this when I know some husbands might be like, okay, you need to work and then your paycheck money is going towards what we need for the family. Like, he let me basically do this with my whole paycheck, where like with his paycheck, it's always been it's our money. Like, we share everything. And he's been a great provider, and he makes money for us. And so we've always just used his income and then filtered it where it needed to go. And I'm grateful that he could still like be like letting us do that, even when I'm making like an income here, and I'm just, all of it is being taken, well, besides charity donations, right? The remaining was all going towards my own little mess. No, my phone paused for a second. Like, I'm really grateful that he was able to like, let that happen, where he was willing to just be like, yes, totally fine. You just use all your money and you clean up your mess. And, the rest is, we're just going to keep on chugging like we've been chugging. So now the mess is cleaned up. Now time to bake some cookies, because I deserve it. All right. Take care and good luck. And when you're done with paying off your debt, write it down below and we will celebrate together. All right. Take care. Bye. Ben & Jerry's half-baked ice cream. I literally don't get Ben & Jerry's that often because, one, it's expensive. Where's the little opening here? And I mean, it's like $5 for a rinky-dink amount. Okay. Because you all know I'm going to be eating this straight. Like, this is one serving size for me. Just saying. So, yep. This is as good as it gets, people. This is as good as it gets. Now, would you celebrate? Beautiful. So, just in case you all don't know how great half-baked is, I will read you what it has. Chocolate and vanilla ice cream with gobs, emphasis on the gobs, of chocolate chip cookie dough and fudge brownie. And that's what it looks like, people. That's what it looks like. Yep. That was worth it.